Okay, so many of you have kind of little water features or ponds or something like that. And so what we're going to do is just show you how to do that, get the outline of it, and also like so you can show the depth and the water levels. So I'm going to start with interpolate points, or it says interpolate curve or interp curve up here. So here I go with this one, making kind of a naturalistic form. And then I'm going to hit C to close that up, and I'll just go ahead and stretch that out a little bit. Just for fun, I'm actually going to scale this down just a touch. I'll do a little bit more of a linear one, different depths here on this one, but this was just sort of a straightforward, easy one. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have it be deeper in the center right here, and just really be sort of uniform. But I need a curve that represents the depth of this. So what I'm going to do is actually, let's see, I'm just going to use near. I'm going to draw a line as much, in the center as I can. Maybe I'll restart that just a little bit over here, and then I get near. I'll turn near off so it doesn't bother me anymore. And so next thing I'm going to do is actually I want to go ahead and split this in two. You'll see why we're doing this in a second, but I'm going to split this. So this is a really great command. Like I said, it is split, and you can hit enter, and then it says select objects to split. So I want to split this into two objects. Enter. By using this as my cutting object, enter. And so now I have two sides of this pond. And what we'll end up doing is we're going to loft this, use the command loft. We're going to loft it underneath back over to this one. But what we need is this three-dimensional profile curve. So that's what we're going to do now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit polyline and use the midpoint. Like I said, it's going to be the deepest in the midpoint. And then I'm just going to go 3 feet down, enter, and then so now I have the representation of how deep that's going to be. And I can essentially use interp curve to just go from this connection point down there and then back up. And then I just go ahead and hit spacebar, enter. And that gives me just a really simple form about describing the depth of this sort of pond. I'm going to use the loft command, and you can see the symbol here. It looks like a surface through 3 lines, which is exactly what we're going to do. These, by the way, have to touch on either end. If this one were like that, this is not going to work. So there is a kind of art form to use in the loft in terms of making sure everything is connected. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and hit enter, and it should be just literally that easy. It just gives you that inscribe that sort of depth to the pond. Just go ahead and move this to the proper layer. Pond bottom, that's all I called it. And then let's do the water. And I'm going to go ahead and choose my pond water layer. What I need to do here is actually I'm gonna make a surface that represents the water, and then trim it using the pond edge. And in order to do that, I need to make sure that I'm just going to draw a rectangular surface. I have to make sure that I am not accidentally, for example, if you do this, where this is not completely inside of this line or intersecting it, this is not going to work. So that's why I'm making it too big, and I'm making it way too big intentionally. And this will represent our water surface, but first let's talk about where the water is depth-wise. So I'm going to move this. That's what I just did, move. And I'm going to move it, I'm just going to say 6 inches or 0.5 down. And you can now see how it intersects with this pond edge. And so I will now be able to take this surface and trim this surface out because it's intersecting at every point. So trim, I use the surface, and then here goes that, and then that gives me my nice water edge. So that's a really simple, straightforward way of doing a kind of pond feature, and you get your water depth as well. And keeping them on separate layers, later in Lumion you'll be able to actually give this a water material. If you render it right now, it just comes out flat, right? Because you can't see through it, but it'll work once you get to Lumion. Don't worry about that. So there's that, and I'll come back and do this one next. So there's simple pond, and we'll do this more complicated one next.